Can you do it? Can you do it?
We are live.
Remove that. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. I'm removing one of our feeds because it's not liking us. But anyway, all right, ready?
All
Here
right.
we go.
Here we go.
Get this fat body up and run it. Suck it in, Heimlich. All right, ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. I don't know what my brother just did, but he's making some noise over there.
I cheered. I got us cheering.
A little squawking in the background. How about this?
There we go.
We're gonna start the show. It's a really big show tonight.
Really big show tonight.
Yeah. So tonight is the memorial service for Charlie Kirk. We did a thing last week on Charlie Kirk, so I have nothing but respect and praise for Charlie Kirk. So I don't want to diss him in any way, shape, or form. But I'm not even sure what we're going to talk about. So
yeah, we'll start with Charlie Kirk. You were watching the thing. I wasn't watching it, but you were watching it. And,
yeah, I was watching it. So I here I'll show you this here in a second. So
okay.
So
well, they had, was it the what would they call that today? Did they call it the
memorial service? Okay. Yep.
All right. Because I saw it earlier as they were setting up. They had a live band there, and I wonder, was that band that they do the grave robber song? That wasn't that band, was it?
Crowder? I don't know.
That's May is watching.
I wasn't watching, to be honest with you, so I apologize for that. Yeah, I didn't start it till later, and hello, Beth Smay, how's it going? So I'm gonna have to get a cough. Where's our cough? Do we have a cough button on this thing? What's going on with this thing?
A what? A cough button?
Cough button.
Oh, so you can cough without making a noise?
Yeah, I don't know how to do it, but whatever. Anyway.
Anyway. So you don't know if that was a band or not?
What's that? No, I don't know if that was a band.
Okay. Yeah.
God.
What's going on?
I was pushing a new button on our little effects board, and it was saying female, male, baby. Excuse me, my apologies. I'm looking for a cough button, and I found out we have a noise button. See,
go this way. Hello,
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys.
Is that your voice? And it's just making it. Is it just changing it?
Yes. It's the pitch button. It's the pitch button.
It's the pitch button.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Hey.
It's not like we're so easily distracted. Squirrel, what? Huh? What? Yeah, we're not easily distracted.
I didn't shut it off.
You push the effects button to the left.
Okay, there we go. Got it. Yeah.
Apparently we haven't played we haven't played with our boxes in a while. So
hello, Kenny. How you doing?
Hey, Kenny Travis, how's it going? Welcome to the show. It's a really big show. So I was gonna show you guys, right? So since the Charlie Kirk event happened, I've been taking some notes, right? So I have this notes in my Charlie Kirk. These are all different videos I've gotten off of Instagram, and they just kind of keep going, keep going. Yeah, so I've taken a few notes, copied a couple of links in Instagram, listening to all the different people talking about their ideas and their perspective of what's going on and stuff like that. So the thing I think is rather interesting, I was just mentioning this to my brother. My brother's like, "Oh, they don't know. Yeah, they know who they killed him." I'm no, I don't think they do.
They do. Yeah, they do.
I don't think here. Listen to me for a minute, right?
Okay.
Hear me out, right? This is why I don't think that they know who killed him, right? Because they say that he had a rifle on it. He changed his clothes on the building, shot Charlie Kirk, changed his clothes again, disassembled his rifle, left the screwdriver on the roof because they said they found the screwdriver on the roof, right? You don't see him coming off the roof with a gun, but he disassembled it on the roof, and then he reassembles it in the woods when he left the screwdriver on the roof. So how's that possible? And there's a couple other things. So it's like there's something fishy in Denmark. That's all I can say. I don't know what the thought is or what the process is or what the problem is, but I don't think that the story that they're telling us right now jives. Oh, and also they published a text message between him and his boyfriend who's going to be a transgender.
Mhm.
And multiple people have input that into AI generator, and it says it was originally generated by AI. So it's not a text message between the boyfriend and the supposed shooter. So there's a lot of things that are wrong with this thing.
I want to hear someone tell me that who isn't looking to get clickbait. That's what I want to hear. I don't want someone coming in, oh, this is going on. Well, first off, I have not heard the story I heard originally was they got a picture of him laying on the roof after the shot and not running yet, laying on the roof. Okay, that's the story I got. That's what I heard early
There's
on.
a video
Okay.
of the people.
Okay, now let me
ducking
finish
and-
now. Let me finish now.
Okay.
Now,
I-
secondly, if this is what you're saying is true, then you can't have any confidence in Kash Patel, because it's his FBI that's making these things. And I thought that was the reason we hired this guy, is so that we wouldn't have this kind of bullshit going on. And like I said, I want to see it from. And I saw the video that you're talking about, and the video could have been edited. I don't know. Okay, all I know is they've got the screwdriver has DNA on it. They've got the towel with his DNA on it. How they didn't say? I've never heard the FBI say he reassembled the gun either. Okay.
No, they showed
Okay,
the
now
gun. We found the gun fully assembled. That's a fully assembled gun.
I've heard we found the gun. I didn't hear fully assembled, and I'd like to hear that because he could have just stuck it back together and laid it down without screwing the screws in with the screwdriver. And there's all kinds of things that could happen. And
Right.
I've listened, Jeff. I watched all those videos you sent me. Some of them contradict each other.
They do,
Okay.
and I did it specifically because I started to realize there is a portion of our society that's trying to put out false information to try to muddy up the waters. Barack
Right.
Obama said all you have to do is muddy up the waters a little bit, and people won't know what's going on with the government.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a lot of that, and that's a lot of those videos that are in there. Absolutely, I think that these are people that are totally muddying up the waters. But I think that if you stick with the FBI narrative, because you said that you saw a video of him laying down or something like that, or a photo of him.
No.
laying
I don't know. I don't know if it wasn't the FBI. I don't know who it was. There was a video, and the person said it came after the shot, and they got a picture of him laying down on the thing. Now I'm not saying that's true. I'm just
Right.
saying that's what I saw.
Right.
Okay, because that video that person could be lying too,
Right.
or
Absolutely.
or not. I
Right.
don't know. What I'm saying is there's all kinds of different things.
Right.
And
And I don't know the answer. I've been looking at all this stuff trying to figure it out, and I don't know the answer yet. But there's also a video out there where the shot rings out, people are ducking, the guy stands up on the roof and starts running.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of time to be disassembling a gun and changing your
Right.
clothes and running across the roof.
Right.
Again, I don't.
So where did they get the video from? All this stuff has to begin. Also, this guy confessed that he did it.
They say that he confessed, but they have no info. So basically, they're saying that he confessed in a chat room somewhere, but they don't have the.
No, he
chat room.
confessed to his parent or his father.
No, he didn't.
No, his
So-
father said he confessed to it.
Well, they're saying that he's non-cooperative right now.
Well,
So if
he's
you-
non-cooperative. Yeah.
If you're confessing to a crime, what do what benefit does it do you if you've already confessed to the crime that
So,
you're not going to cooperate?
His confession to his father can't be held against him in a court of law unless his father goes
Right,
in and
and-
testifies. And his father doesn't have to testify because of the law about relationship, whatever it is.
And technically and legally speaking, a confession to his father is a hearsay. So we don't know if he confessed to his father really or not.
I'm pretty sure his father's not going to say he did if he did.
Well, they're also saying that there's some form that made the parents think that that was their son. So it's like, but then they originally said that they noticed a picture of him online, but then they're like, well, they're changing their story to, well, there's some way in the process that they thought it might be their son, so they called the FBI.
They
So
saw the pictures, they recognized him, and they called the FBI.
that was the original story, but they've changed the story since then. That's the problem. See,
What have they changed the story to?
to somewhere along the way, they thought it might be their son, so they called the FBI. So it wasn't because they saw a photo of what they thought was their son.
All
They
I've
just
heard is they
thought-
saw a photo and they called.
Right.
They saw it was him, so they confronted him, and he admitted to
that-
it. And then he said he'd
Yep.
rather kill himself than go to jail. And they called their pastor, or no, their pastor, and got them
Yes.
together, and that's who got him to turn himself into the FBI.
that was the original story, right? And
That's
you
the
made a
only
statement
story I've
earlier-
heard.
Well, I've heard multiple, so
Well, yeah, but
you
you're
don't have
listening to these people who want clickbaits, though, Jeff.
No, they're like Michael Savage, who is not a clickbait person, who used to be really on the inside knowledge with President Trump, who's now on the outskirts now, is not looking for clickbait. What's the other person's name? What's her name? I'll find it in a second. Anyway, the black lady, what's her name?
Candace Owen.
Candace Owen has been doing a timeline based on the evidence, right? And she's doing multiple videos on her YouTube that are a timeline of information that stuff is happening, right? So Candace Owen claimed on a YouTube video that I watched that she knew the guy. So there's a picture or video of the guy taking the camera. So let me back up a little bit. So Charlie Kirk's doing live podcasting while he's doing his debate on the campus, right? He always did it.
Right.
He was doing it then, right? There's a camera, like as he's facing the audience, there's a camera that's off to his left in front of him, and there's a camera that's directly behind him, right? They're like 4K cameras. They're not like a little mom and pop GoPro. It might have been a GoPro with 4K. I don't know. No, because it's a big camera. It's a big camera like I have the Canon 5D. It's a big, probably like a Sony or something like that. It's a big camera, 4K camera. There's a video of a guy that climbs up on the chair and takes the card out of the camera, and the camera off the thing on the wall behind him takes the card out, right? And Candace Owens like, I know that guy. I've met that guy. So I called the guy and I said, hey, what's going on? He said, well, and here's another thing. It's like the FBI said they were on site right away. They never taped off the scene as a crime scene investigation, right? Because if it was a crime scene investigation, they should have been, preventing that guy from removing a camera, from removing a camera card, because there might be blood splatter on there, all this other stuff, right? That being said, the guy takes the camera off the wall, takes a card out of it, and Candace gets a hold of him. And she's like, look, I want to see that video. He's like, I'm going to give it to the FBI. She's like, I just want to watch it. We can do a FaceTime chat and we can watch it. I can watch it. I just want to see what it is. And she said, so the video that they showed us originally, where he had blood spurting out the side of his neck and he falls over, right?
Mhm.
She said the camera that was behind Charlie Kirk shows the whole incident and him falling over and no blood. So I don't know what that means.
Well,
but
it's behind him, though. The blood
Right,
came
but-
out in front of him.
It came out that way. It came out the side. So it was like that.
I'd have to
So-
see the angle, because what you're saying, live, these people fix the camera.
I don't know the answer. I'm not saying that I know the answer. There's someone being deceitful. What I'm saying is that there's different angles that show different things, and it's like in every crime scene, every car accident, you can have 15 people that witness the crime, and you can have 15 different stories of the crime, right? But the issue we have here now is we have recorded pictures, recorded video of the crime. So you have to be able to look at all the video, and if you can stitch them together. And like you said to me multiple times, well, we don't know if there's any AI in the video, if it's been doctored. But suddenly these videos haven't had the chance to be doctored. And I'm not saying they have. I'm not saying they haven't.
Well, they were like immediate. It was like they were doing it. It was immediate. And what I'm
Right.
saying is, the blood it came out forward. Okay, it didn't go up in the air. It came out forward and maybe to the left a little bit. But
It went
if
over
you
his
had
shoulder.
if the camera was over his right shoulder, they might not have seen it. That's my point.
You're absolutely right. I'm not arguing against that, but it looked like it went over the shoulder that way, not forward, but that. And even if it did go a little bit forward, it went over the shoulder enough that she should have been able to see it from behind. Because there's a lot of
I don't agree with that. I don't think
blood.
I wonder if I can find the video right now.
Well, you
And,
probably could. You probably could.
yeah.
I don't want to play it, but yeah. So
No.
so all I'm saying is yes, you made a statement earlier. Well, we had Cash Patel and we got Dan Bongino, and this was supposed to be the security of the FBI. And you are 100% right. That is what I thought. Right? But you have to ask yourself what the hell is going on, right? Because Pam Bondi said in front of a camera, "Oh yeah, I have the Epstein tapes on my desk. I've been going through those. I'm viewing the videos, all this other stuff. There's a lot of videos, blah blah." And then 2 days later, she's like, "I never said that." Right? There's video that you can find of that. Cash Patel, same thing. Oh, we're gonna release all of the Epstein files and we're gonna get it all out there. And all of a sudden, he comes out and says, "Yeah, Epstein hung himself," and people are like, "What?" So prior to you becoming the director of the FBI, you were like, "I think that Epstein couldn't have killed himself. I think somebody killed him. I think he purposely was killed him. And if I ever become the head of the FBI, I'm going to release all this information to the public. It's going to be Freedom of Information Act. Everyone's going to be able to see what they have." So let's see. I'm ranting here, but Beth Smee said. Anyone listen to President Trump speaking? I did listen to some of President Trump speaking at Charlie Kirk's memorial. Beth, it was he came on after Charlie Kirk's wife, and which I was so I saw Vice President Vance giving his speech, and then Charlie Kirk's wife came on. And I thought, well, I guess decorum would say that the president has to go last, right? But it's like it seems like it's a memorial for Charlie Kirk and his wife. I thought would go last, but it's like how do you go after the president before the president, all that stuff. So your video is playing on the thing, just so you know, the audio
I
of your
shut it
video
down.
is playing.
I shut it down. I shut.
So I was kind of like, how do you make the decision of who goes last? And I guess the decision is that President Trump goes last, right? So I liked his the beginning of his memorial. I didn't see the whole thing because I had to come in here and get ready to be on the show. My brother advertised originally it was going to be from 5 p.m. Eastern or Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern, and then he's like, "Oh, I need to do it at 4 p.m. and 7 because the Giants game comes on at 5:30." So,
well, that was what our original plan was.
Yes, it was.
And when I put it down, I put it on the wrong hour. That was
it was our original plan, and my brother messed it up. It's all my brother's fault. He messed.
You
can
always blame it on me. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I mess things
up.
But
so my thoughts on President Trump speaking at Charlie Kirk. Here's another thing that I thought was one of the things that was concerning to me. You have a high level threat in the United States right now of Iraq. Was it Iraqi national or no? Not was it Iraqi. Who was it? Al Qaeda. Al Qaeda has over 1,400 well trained terrorists that are in the United States right now.
How do we know this?
Because there's a girl who's in the intelligence agency who's been following this for a long time. She was on what's his name show that was on what is his name? Forgot his name. Dang it! Come on, you old brain, kick yourself in the ass and get going. She was on. He's a ex-Navy SEAL, CIA guy. He's got his own podcast. Really good guy. Sean is his name, I think. Anyway, she was on his show. I've seen many of her podcasts on there, and she was talking about this about 3 or 4 months ago on this show. Sean, what is Sean's last name? Anyway, let's see. I think I got him in my email. Let's see. we have, it would be Sean. Yeah, well, we're just dead air coming up here. So,
Well, I'm
ladies and
searching
gentlemen.
for. I can't find the video.
Well, why
Be-
can't you find the video? They must have
I'm
scrubbed
trying.
it. They must have scrubbed it, right?
I got the
So,
video of him jumping off the building.
Yeah, yeah. So Sean Ryan show, I think it is. Sean Ryan is a guy. So Sean Ryan has a show on YouTube. Great guy. I think he's a great guy. He's an ex-Navy SEAL. He's got worked in the industry, worked with the CIA for a while. He was a contractor for a while. Now he's doing podcasting. But he had her on his show. And then so she talked a lot about it. And when President Biden was the president, they had no security on our borders at all, north
Zero.
or south.
Yeah.
Right. And they knew that there was some Al Qaeda operators that were getting into the United States that were circumventing the the border checkpoints and all this stuff, right? So there is a lot of evidence for that. And what she was saying in their video with Sean Ryan show was she was saying, look, Americans don't understand how these terrorists work, right? These terrorists work in this way. So they will have a bomb vest on. They'll go in the middle of a crowd of people and they'll pop the bomb off. They'll kill a bunch of people. Then all the ambulances and the firemen and all those people come in to help and see what's going on, and they'll send another one in, and they'll blow that up. So now you have this, and they basically have the mentality that they will fight until they die. So they're either going to go in with weapons blazing, or they're going with or have a bomb vest on, and then once they pull the pin on the bomb vest, they just kill as many. It's a mass casualty event. And I was thinking, it's like, okay, so we have in the stadium in Arizona, we have the president of the United States, we have the vice president of the United States, we have the Speaker of the House, we have many members of Congress, we have the Secretary of State, we have Secretary of Defense, we have Tulsi Gabbard, there's RFK Jr. It's just amazing amount of high upper level personnel that are in that building. I was like, wow, we
They said it was like one of the highest secured areas. I forget what they called it.
Second highest.
It's like the second highest security spot that you can have. Probably the only other way to be more secure is if you had a lot of other presidents from other countries coming in. Like that.
The only way it would be more secure if it was like a presidential debate or what they say, Olympics. Olympics is more secure than the security level that they were having at the event, Charlie Kirk event. And I don't know if they were there at the same time. I would imagine that they got some drones flying overhead because our military knows what the hell they're doing with drones.
They said there was no drones allowed, but maybe we could fly our own drones, I would imagine. Yeah.
There's no drones allowed in the building for sure, but I'm sure that our military has drones over the whole.
No, outside, one of the newscasters said there's no drones allowed out there. And there's no fly zone for a bunch of miles and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, but again, when you're flying drones, so no fly zone means that planes can still come in and land at the local airport, right?
Yeah.
So if you're a military aircraft, you have you may have restrictions on your fly zone, but you have a fly zone, and the military always has a fly zone, and they take precedence over everything.
Yeah, and if they have a no-fly zone, I'm sure that the military has jets in the air to make sure. So, because like you said, they can come in and land the air. That's not a long ways away. So if someone comes in and they turn, they got to have something ready to go to counter that. So yeah.
Maybe they have a couple of anti-aircraft batteries in the area or anti-missile batteries in the area. A little Star Wars action going around the.
Maybe some F-16s flying around,
Charlie
whatever.
Memorial Stadium, yeah. So I mean, I'm confident in that, but because of what we've been seeing prior to the assassination of Charlie Kirk, of what our government's doing, I'm slowly losing my confidence. I'm like, wait a minute, what the heck is going on, right? And even Trump posted on True Social the other day. He said, look, if we don't start arresting these people that were involved in the the 2016 cover up and the 2020 cover up of Biden's
Right.
laptop and all this stuff. What's the point? What's the point of him
Right.
being the president? And it's not, people say, oh, that's retribution. No, that's not retribution. That's
It's not retribution if they broke the law.
yeah. Yeah. So it's like, and I've seen multiple.
Right. But I got to say right now, it feels like retribution because they're not arresting anybody.
Right.
So they're saying they broke all these laws, but they're not arresting anybody.
Right.
So did they really break the laws? I don't know. And like I told you this before, when you said, oh, look at, there's all this stuff coming down and they're going to perp walk them and blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah. I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, I told you the same thing.
Yeah.
I'll believe it.
Oh,
when
yeah,
I see
you
him
did.
Perp walk. So
yeah.
when I see him perp walk, I'll be like, yeah, they finally did it. Finally had the cojones to do what they should have been doing a long time ago. And there's a lot of things that are going on in our country right now. People don't really understand, or people are I don't want to necessarily use the word ignorant, but we are ignorant in some sense of the word. That it's like, oh well, we're fighting for democracy. Well, first of all, we're a constitutional republic. We're not a democracy, right? We're a democratic constitutional republic, right?
Hey,
So
my wife's watching. Look at that. Hello.
Hey, yeah, I saw that earlier. Forgot to say hello. Hello, Dulcie. Good evening.
Hey,
yeah.
Bramlin's watching. Hello, Bramlin. The Bears, he says. Okay, yeah, the Bears kicked the Cowboys' butt. Yeah.
Oh, did they win? Did the Bears win? There you
go. Yeah, kicked their butt. They beat them by a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's always nice. So it's always, always the Cowboys hopefuls are always.
Anyways, I can't find the video, but if I remember correctly, it came out of right below his shoulder in his, like where his carotid artery is, and it just kind of came out like this, and it's just going to come out, and then he falls to the left. So even if it came out to the left, he falls to the left. And if the camera's behind him, you may not see the blood. That's my point.
Right.
I wish I could find the video, but I can't.
I have the video. I have it.
You recorded it?
Well, it went out to one of our text chats when it happened. And
really?
I told the guys on the chat, I said, if that video is real, I'm pretty sure unless the grace of God comes around, he's dead. Right?
Yeah.
So, all right, so I can show it. Here, let me look at it. I'll look at it without showing it.
Text it to me if you can.
Oh, it says content not available. Well, there's kind of. Well, I don't know. So I will text it to you right now.
Okay.
It definitely is coming out the front, but you should have been able to see that with a camera in the back if that's the case. So
Ken Travis is on again. He must have got off and got back on.
Yeah. So we're going to copy this and we will text it to you. So yeah, this was the first video that I saw. I think I might have texted this to you already. So,
maybe you did. I don't know.
So I'm texting it again.
I don't think so though, because I think when you first did it, this is.
Yeah, you have a couple of videos on there that are.
It's telling me I got to update X before I can watch the video.
There you go. Yeah,
but anyways, I understand you have some skepticism, Jeff, but I just have a little more faith in our government.
Well, I have more faith in our government now than before, except for the fact that they're doing nothing about the Epstein. I mean, there were many, 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 many girls that were brought onto the Epstein Island, and there were many, many, many people that were included in Epstein Island. They were, paying for these girls or boys or whatever they're getting out of there, and they're doing nothing about it. And it's starting to get a little frustrating. It's like, come on, and they're like, oh, well, Donald Trump doesn't want to release him because he's on him. It's like, you freaking idiots. You had it for 4 years under Biden. You were trying to send Donald Trump to jail for 700 years. If you had any information that would have put him in jail because of the Epstein files, you would have released it then because you didn't give a crap about him as a person, right? So it's like, these same people are saying, well, Trump must be on it, right? No, if Trump was on him, they would have put it out there in the same way that they covered up the Hunter Biden laptop. They would have exposed the Epstein files so that Trump would be exposed to the world and go to jail, right? But they didn't do
Yes,
that.
I agree with you there.
So, but now
but I
here we
do-
are. We're coming up on the
my
first
feeling-
year, and they haven't done anything about it. It's like, wait a minute, what the hell?
My
is going
feeling
on?
is this: there's either names on there they don't want to let out because they're friends of theirs, or there's names on there where they look, hey, we can pull this guy in the line because we've got his name, and we can make him toe the line and do what we want to do, and more than one.
Right.
Kenny says, if you remember, the FBI lost almost all the evidence from the hard drives from Epstein Island. Yeah, but Pam Bondi said she had it right in front of her. That's the thing that we're talking about now, Kenny. She said, I got the list here, and we're gonna release it tomorrow. And then tomorrow came, and they didn't release it. And
I have the list.
It just seems funny. And now she's saying there was no list, or she actually changed that again to something else. And my feeling is it's one of those two things that I just said. They're going to use it for political gain, or there's people on there that they don't really want to have mentioned. And,
well, here's
and I don't think it's Trump. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's Trump.
Right.
Because if Trump was on there, the Democrats would have used it to try to keep him from being elected. That's my opinion on that.
Right. Here's another interesting thing, because in all the video watching I've been doing on Instagram, there's several videos of Charlie Kirk days and weeks leading up to his assassination where he started talking negatively about Israel and Bibi Netanyahu, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of speculation that Jeffrey Epstein was working with Mossad, that the ex-Mossad leader, there's pictures of him going to Jeffrey Epstein's New York house, right? And the Israelis don't want that stuff known that Epstein was working with Mossad, right? So do you remember about 6 or 8 months ago where all of a sudden all of these terrorist pagers blew up, or their cell phones blew up?
Yeah.
Right? That was the Israeli Secret Service basically getting involved with the manufacturer of those cell phones and putting bombs in them so they could send a message to it later that would blow that thing up. And they killed a lot of terrorists doing that, right?
Yes, they did.
So if they're capable of doing that, what else are they capable of doing, right?
Right.
So if these guys are the ones that are involved in Jeffrey Epstein and trying to blackmail people so they can have power over them to make people do what they want them to do, it's like, that's a problem, right? And you know me, I think that God is not done with the nation of Israel, right? But God is not concerned about the government of Israel. He's concerned about the nation of Israel. And we need to understand that there's a difference. But Bibi Netanyahu, and one of the things that Charlie Kirk said is the week of October 7th, when they had the massacre of, the raping and killing of all those women and children in Israel, by the Hamas people, right?
Yeah.
There was supposed to be a massive riot in the street to get Bibi Netanyahu kicked out as a president because they felt like he was overthrowing their government and taking over the power and saying that the this branch had too much power. She's trying to change the way the government's working, and suddenly he has all these war powers because Hamas is there killing all these Israelis, right? So another thing about that Charlie Kirk said is he says, I've been to Israel, right? It's a 45-minute chopper flight from Jerusalem to Gaza, right? And he said 6 hours they were filming these Hamas people murdering and raping and killing these women and children and men. It's for 6 hours. And I thought of this too. I've seen so many pictures of Israeli citizens where they're carrying like M16s around their shoulders walking through the street. So all of the military personnel and the off-duty military personnel all carry armed weapons. So how can that be the case in Israel, right? And then you have Hamas who's in there killing all the Israelis and there's no response. There's no like, hey, where's our military? Because Israel is the size of New Jersey, right? If you can take a 45-minute helicopter flight from Jerusalem to the Palestine area, where's their military? How come their military didn't say, what the heck's going on, and go down there, fight them off and kill them all and save their citizens, right? So these are things that Charlie Kirk was talking about before he was assassinated. So there are a lot of people speculating that Israel might have been involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, whether it was the guy that was on the roof or somebody else, right?
Well, there's a lot. You say a lot of people, but I have never heard of that. Other than you, I have never heard of anybody saying they think. And I did hear the Charlie Kirk thing that you're talking about, and there could be a lot of reasons for that. They should ask the question and get an answer for sure.
He did.
Okay?
He did. He said, "Did they issue a stand down order?" We ought to ask this question.
They should. Someone should be asking the question.
Nobody.
And did it truly take 6 hours? That's the other thing.
It was
Yes.
6
How
hours.
do you know this?
Because they broadcast it for 6 hours. Them killing people is broadcast in the news all over the world. That 6 hours that they're killing Israeli citizens. That's a known thing. It's not like I make it up.
I have to look that up because
you should look it up.
And they because my remembrance of it wasn't 6 hours. They came in, they did their thing, and it wasn't 6 hours, and then they took the hostages and left. Okay. I don't remember it being, and I'm not saying it couldn't be 6 hours. In my memory, you know how my memory is. It's about as good as nothing.
But for the most part, we just like, oh wow, that's happened, that's bad, right? And we moved on, right? We weren't paying attention to the news. We heard that it happened and we moved on, right? So we don't know how long it took because we were like, oh well, I just heard that it happened. Well, it's terrible, right? And it is a terrible thing, but it's like if you have video documentation coming out for 6 hours of them murdering and killing children, I mean, because they're doing things like throwing them in ovens and cooking them alive and all kinds of sadistic, satanic stuff they were doing. Raping them in the streets and dragging them out, with new pairs of sweatpants on after they raped her multiple times and stuff. It's like this was not a 15-minute invasion. This was a multiple hour invasion. So, it was a terrible thing, and we saw part of it, and we're like, oh my gosh, we should be support of Israel bombing Hamas, right? And they're talking about the hundreds of miles of tunnels under Israel that the Hamas spent the millions of dollars that they're basically taking from the citizens of the Gaza Strip area and building all these tunnels under the cities.
What was the date of that invasion?
October 7th.
October
7th. That would have been 3 years ago. This is October, it'll be 3 years, if I remember correctly. So
the attack began around 6:30 a.m. local time. The first troop deployment orders were reportedly issued at 7:43 a.m., more than an hour after the attack started. In many border communities, there was very little resistance for the first few hours. Hamas fighters were able to carry out attacks, take hostages, and largely unimpeded. It's reported that for the first 2 or 3 hours, bodies were left. Many were killed, hostages kidnapped before organized military response could be mustered. For example, Kibbutz Be'er, the militants overran the area around 6:45 a.m., but Israel forces only mounted an organized counterattack at 1:30 p.m. So that would be
how many hours is that?
That'd be more than 6 hours, actually. That part of it.
That's a problem.
Okay. So listen to this. Okay, you're not reading. You're not hearing the whole story though.
I'm hearing what you're saying. Say it again.
They're talking about this one area. Okay. Investigative official reports point to several contributing factors. Surprise and scale. The attack was much larger and more coordinated than Israel intelligence had expected. A disruption of common communication. Some bases were overrun. Some communication lines knocked out. Confusion about what was happening where. Holiday time. The attack came during the Jewish holiday weekend time when many soldiers were off base or on leave and responses were slower. Geographic logistics constraints. Border roads were infiltrated or blocked. Past places were attacked from many points, making reinforcement difficult. So what they're using that one area as the 6 hour thing. That's what they're doing. Okay. And who knows, according to this Chat GPT, there was many reasons why it took longer than it should have. Okay, and they're using the one area to say it took over 6 hours.
Okay, so regardless of what you're saying, question still remains: 45-minute helicopter flight from Jerusalem to Hamas area.
Did
And
you
they-
listen
it
to
did-
anything I just said?
I did. It took them hours, right? It's a 45-minute helicopter flight that Charlie Kirk took from Jerusalem to down
Okay.
there. Military all over Israel, right?
Mhm.
There's only, it's not like Jerusalem is the only place that has military. So there's military in that southern area that you know, they were saying, oh, they're overrun. So they have like 4 people on their border and they took them out and then they just come in and do whatever they want.
They had very few people on the border. Yeah.
There's a problem with that though, Rick. There's a problem. So one of the things that you did say is there was more than they expected. So they're expecting it to occur, apparently. So
Well,
it was more
what
than
I-
they expected.
Okay, and I see how you're reading that. I heard it as they are planning in case of an attack. That's what they're expecting to happen. Okay, they weren't expecting it on that day or that week or whatever. They are always expecting that these idiots are going to do something stupid like this. So they're expecting them to do something. This wasn't what they expected. It was much larger than they expected. Okay, not that they expected it that day, because if that was the case, the guys wouldn't be on leave or anything. That won't care about the holiday. You know.
But again, usually military soldiers in Israel, off-duty soldiers, walk around with the M16s on their shoulders.
Okay, that's
There's
fine.
all kinds of,
That's
all
fine.
kinds of photos and pictures.
They
of them
still
doing
have to
it.
go to their base. They have to get to their base, unless they were right down in that area. Okay, they have to go back to the base and do their thing, and you know, even a quick response team, if they had a quick response team, and I don't know they do, takes a little bit of time. Okay, not 6 hours, obviously. Okay,
Right.
but if their guys were on leave, then they got to get them in. They got to give them the you know, this is what's going on, the briefing, and blah blah blah, and all that stuff has to happen.
Right. So
yeah.
we got on this tangent because I was talking about these are things that Charlie Kirk was talking about before he got assassinated. So there are people that are speculating that Israel is. There's a couple things that they're speculating. Look it up, figure it out. Say I'm just full of shit, whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter to me. But there are people that are speculating that Bibi Netanyahu just came to the White House. About 2 weeks ago, a week ago, something like that. And Charlie Kirk was trying to tell President Trump, do not bomb Iran or Iraq. We shouldn't be getting in Israel's war to bomb Iraq. And then he got shut out, right? Story reports are saying that President Trump wasn't happy with him saying it, right? But because Ted Cruz was being interviewed by Tucker Carlson, and Tucker Carlson's like, so why should we support Israel? He's like, well, the Bible says so. He's like, really? Where does it say? Well, it says that for those who bless Israel, they'll be blessed, and those that curse Israel, they'll be cursed. And that's not exactly what he's saying. He's talking about the offspring of Abraham, which is essentially the people of Israel, but it's not the country of Israel or the government of Israel. So we need to start realizing that those are two different things, right? And I am not anti-Jewish by any way, shape, or the form. I believe that Jesus Christ was Jewish and that my Savior and Lord is Jewish, right? I have nothing against Jewish people, but it's like when you start reading what the Bible really says, it says that Abraham, as far as God tells Abraham, I'm going to make your nations great and mighty, right? And those that bless you, I will bless, and those that curse you, I will curse. Right? He's talking about the offspring of Abraham. He's not talking about Israel. He's talking about the offspring of Abraham. So Ted Cruz was really caught in a like a deer in the headlights when Tucker Carlson asked him the questions, because he's heard for so many years. We've been taught from the Bible that says, if you bless Israel, you'll be blessed, and if you curse Israel, you'll be cursed. And I have said that myself, right? But that's not what it says. So I'm just saying that we need to start thinking out loud and asking questions to say what's going on, right? Yes, they were wearing
GoPros.
Yeah. So everywhere they went, all the things they were doing, they were recording it, and then they were they were doing it live feeds too. A lot of them were doing live feeds. So
Yes, they were.
Kenny Travis said something we should probably put up here. One thing I haven't seen anyone be able to question was what his own father said. What was it? Because his father turned him in. Well, what did he say? What did he say?
His father said that he admitted to the crime, that he admitted to killing Charlie Kirk.
and you heard his father say that, or somebody said that his father said that.
No, I
what-
didn't
that-
hear his father say that.
Right.
No, I did
But-
not. Jeff. You
but
know that.
Rick, what I'm saying is, I think that's what Kenny's asking. I think that's what he's asking. Have
What-
you,
what's-
has
what
anyone?
do you-
I haven't. Here we go. We'll show it again. The one thing I haven't seen anyone be able to question was what his own father said. Right?
Yeah, no one's questioning it.
All right.
Is that what you mean, Kenny? I don't know what you mean. That's the way I read it.
The way I read it is, we don't know what his father said. Everyone's like, "Oh, his father turned him in." Well, what did he say? You know, I think that's the way he's saying it. But let's see what he says. He says, "If you remember, the FBI lost almost all the evidence from the hard drives from Epstein Island. Hamas was, yeah." So, Kenny, give us some more thoughts on what you're saying. Rick and I are obviously disagreeing on what you're saying when you said, father is the one who turned him in and held him until So afterwards he said that. So he said this second. His father was the one who turned him in and held him until authorities got there.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. You should say that, Kenny, because I heard that he called a pastor and they took him to the station. So those are two
Well,
different
his
things.
father was with him the whole time. His father didn't just take him to the pastor and leave him with the pastor. Okay.
Right, but the authorities didn't come to his house to get him either. So
I don't know where the authorities went to get him, but I don't think it was his house. No.
all I'm
'cause-
saying is it should be
Actually,
really
I think they
easy.
took him to the station. Is what
Right,
they
that's-
did.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
But Kenny's thinking that he held him until authorities got there. So he thinks that they probably saved the house. I don't know which one it is, Kenny, and I'm not arguing for or against it. Here's what I'm saying, Rick. This is what I'm saying. We have what should be a secure and confident FBI, right?
Mhm.
They should be able to give us a clear timeline from the time it started until the time it ended, right? But they're saying, like, there's videos of this guy supposedly walking on the campus at 9 a.m. wearing shorts and a shirt. And then there's videos going by the same house, a different guy, looks like the same guy, wearing all black and limping. So they're thinking that maybe he had the gun in his clothes. So he must have changed clothes. So he came on campus, somehow got off campus, changed his clothes, and came back on campus through the same cameras again. So there's a lot of things.
What do you
that
What do you
not
mean
really-
somehow got off campus?
Well, he didn't go by the same cameras that he went.
Oh,
that he
okay.
came on in the first place. So somehow he got back to where he left and changed his clothes and
Right.
came back again. So it's like there should be a way for them to create a clear, concise timeline of what happens, right? So
Right.
so he took a shot at Charlie Kirk. Took him 10 seconds on the roof to disassemble his gun, put it in his pack, run across behind the building, change his clothes, jump off the building. Doesn't look
Did
like
you
he has a
watch that
gun.
video on how quick you can disassemble that gun?
I have not seen a video on that. I saw this guy say, "Oh, you can disassemble that in seconds." Like, okay, so show me. And I haven't seen a. You said you sent me a video. You didn't send me a video. There's no
I
video.
sent you
that
the
you sent
video.
me.
Pretty sure.
You
I sent
didn't.
you a
You did
video.
not. No, because I looked for it after you said that. I'm like, well, there's no video of that. And I'm not discounting it. But again, you're talking about a let's see if I can find a picture of it, because I thought I took a picture of it recently. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. Is that it?
Yeah,
Nope.
maybe I didn't send it to you because I thought it was after I got all those things from you.
Effing liar. See, so let me go back to my Charlie Kirk thing. Let's see.
I thought I sent it to you for sure. Because I said, it didn't take very long at all to disassemble.
Right.
And this guy was taking his time. It wasn't like he was to get it done.
Right.
You know?
I did see a disassembling of another gun where the guy who is a professional and done it before, he said it's required of me to have a screwdriver and an Allen wrench. So, and his took about 45 seconds and he wasn't even quite done. So I don't know if that was the same gun, but that's why when you sent me that, you said you sent me.
Well,
that,
the guy I was watching didn't take 45 seconds. That's for sure.
right,
And like I said, they weren't hustling. They were just
Right.
doing it.
right,
Because this was done in a video before this happened. Okay, it wasn't a video they just posted because this happened. This is one of those videos you look up. How do I disassemble my 30-06?
Right.
Know? And
But
yeah,
if I remember correctly, it was a Mossberg, right?
I think you're right. Yeah, but I can't find where I. But I know I sent it. But
It was a 30
Anyway.
6, right? 30-6. So let's see if we get a price. Springfield bolt action rifles for sale. Yeah, so there we go. No, I don't want to be on your list. Mossberg 30-6. So, and here's another thing, right? So if you've ever seen if you ever gone deer hunting, right, with a 30-6 or a 308, right?
Right.
And you shoot at the deer, right? Your entry wound on the side of the like if you're aiming for the chest, right? Your entry wound on the side of the deer cavity is small, right? Your exit wound is huge. And we're talking about going through the chest cavity and the heart and lungs and out the other side of the chest cavity and through the skin and all that. Right? You have a massive
If it goes through, yeah.
right. But if it you're talking about he got hit somewhere here, they're saying he hit him in the neck, right? If you get hit in the neck with a 30-6, you're probably gonna blow the head off the person you hit. That's
No.
just a reality. Yeah,
No,
it's
that's not
a high powered rifle, Rick. It's not a
Okay,
22.
okay. What I read on this too was it's a rifle made. It's high powered, but it's low velocity. It's made for doing damage. Okay, but it's not the high power where it's going to go blow your head off kind of thing. At least that's what I was reading about.
Right, but everything in your neck is all flesh. That's all flesh. The only thing that's solid in your neck is a vertebrae on the backside.
Yeah, well, I'd like to see where exactly he got hit, because in the video it looks like he gets hit left side, right where the collarbone is, right in that area. It looks like he got hit right in that area.
Right, and the other thing is when you look at, so they said he
hang on. What'd you say, hon? Yeah, well, he broke his carotid, but that's where it is, right here, right? Right. Yeah.
So what they said was if the camera's facing me and like the video of Charlie Kirk got shot, he had an earpiece in his ear, a cord that went around down into his shirt on the mic, so you can see the little black thing like pointing like this. That's the mic for his podcasting, because he always did a live podcasting.
Right.
And somehow that earpiece got pulled out and his shirt went like this and the mic went like that, and then the blood splurted out, right?
Right.
I'm not sure how that happens, but it is interesting. But again,
my theory on that is this, okay? So the bullet's flying through air. It's moving air around. When it hits, the air puffs his shirt out. That's my theory. What I don't have any expertise in this, but when I see it, that's what I think.
Right.
Okay.
Again, I don't know, but it's like if we have men and women in the FBI that are pro-American, right? That are going to look for the truth. And I mean, you had a camera in front of Charlie Kirk that was facing him, a camera in back of Charlie Kirk was facing with him, and you have dozens of iPhones and cameras that are out videoing the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to put together a really good picture of what happened.
Yes, you should.
Where he was shot. Was it an exit wound? People are speculating the gun hit him in the neck, traveled down the spine because it's coming down an angle, and then it exploded and came back up. And I'm like, I don't know how that works, but that that it seems like that.
See, this are all just theory,
right?
Okay, and right. I would hope that, like you said, the FBI has a lot of videos and they're looking at them all and they're figuring this out.
Right.
Okay. One guy trying to get clickbait saying this is what I think. It's just like it's just if I say this is what I think.
Right.
Heck, I gotta trust that the FBI is going to do the right thing.
I would normally think that to be the case, but the fact that they're dilly-dallying on the whole freaking Epstein thing, it's like I have a whole other question of problems.
Let's just say you're right, and they are, and I agree with you. They're dilly-dallying on the Epstein thing. This is something that Trump's friend with Kurt.
Yeah,
they like Kurt. And Kurt helped Trump get elected. These guys are working for Trump. I would imagine that they're not going to fuck this up. Okay.
Well, that's why I'm wondering if we actually know what really happened yet. That they're still because because there was another like Kash Patel announced on a podcast somewhere else that they're investigating the possibility of a foreign government involvement. I think that's exactly the way he said.
Oh, I would look into it because, like I said last week on the podcast, it just seems funny. What if the people on the left were so afraid of what he was doing that they decided they got to get rid of him. Well, what they didn't realize it's a lot worse now for them than it was then because there's been like 60,000. They had like 7,000 chapters. There's been 60,000 requests for chapters. What can he say? I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Dr. Frank Turek explaining. Hang on, I'm going to put it up. What he saw in the ride to the hospital with Charlie Kirk. It's heartbreaking. I did not see that, Kenny, but I have heard.
Yeah,
I have heard. I have heard comments that they knew he was dead, that there was no saving him. And when he got to the hospital, the doctor actually said, "Oh, maybe this is the doctor." That they did get his heart going again just for a second, but that's because he was a young man in really good shape, and so his heart didn't want to quit. Basically, is what the doctor said. Is that the guy you're talking about, Kenny? I'm not sure.
Well, there's a guy that they speculated was doing signals with his hat, and that was the guy that rode in the hospital with him. So I saw he was a pastor friend of Charlie Kirk's.
Wayne Thayer is watching. Hello, Wayne.
Hey, Wayne, how's it going? But
he was what, Jeff?
He was like a pastor friend. He was a guy that had the white hat. They said he's like pulling his brim in his ear. So
it's just come on.
For the
I have a hat on. I do shit like that all the time.
Understand? Don't argue with me. I'm just making a point. He actually did an interview and he said, "Look, I'm that guy. There's a plan and purpose or plan in place already for this thing. That the events, if the events happen, there's a plan in place.
Get him in the car. Get him to the hospital as soon as possible."
I went around the curtain on the left side. They went around the curtain on the right side as they're facing it, to carrying him to get him in the car. And Charlie's like 6'6" or something like that. So they said they were pulling him in one side and his feet were hanging out the other side. He jumped into the very back of the car, but he was watching and he was gone already. He said the doctor told us that
he was dead before he hit the floor.
Yeah, he said the doctor told us if he was in the operating room when he took that shot, they wouldn't have been able to save him. Right. Yeah. So it's like, wow, that's
it's because and there's theories. This guy didn't make that shot that good. I mean, he got lucky, or it's unlucky for Charlie Kirk. Lucky for him because he was either aiming for his chest or his head, and he missed and hit him in the carotid artery, and that's what killed him immediately.
Right.
So yeah. But
all I'm really saying is I'm hoping that they're still investigating it. I'm hoping that they're going to come out with a better timeline that has more specifics to it, that is going to be, like credible, the guy was in the library and he shot 3 shots as the president was moving away, but his head jerked back one time as he was responding to one of the shots. Right.
Yeah. I said, when they said that back, so that happened in 63.
Yeah.
When Kennedy got shot.
63.
Like, yeah, I think it was 63, November 11th, 1963. I remember that because there's a Stephen King book with that date. So I was not old enough to know anything about it then. I was only 2 years old, basically. But I do remember my parents were mourning. They were devastated that it happened.
Right.
And I do remember later on in life seeing that they said that his head snapped back with reaction to the bullet hitting him first. And then that's bullshit. That does not happen ever.
Right.
It just doesn't happen.
Right.
So they definitely were lying about that.
Right. But a lot of I remember talking about that before. No, he was shot from behind 3 times. I'm like, there's no way. If you get shot from behind, your head doesn't recoil back towards a bullet. It always goes forward. So there must have been a frontward shot from that. Gambagino says it's just the beginning of
of things will change as more evidence information comes in. Yes, and that's the way most investigations go. We tell you what we
Right.
think. This was the evidence. More evidence comes in. We change our mind, and you have to be open to changing your mind when more evidence comes in. You have to be. Otherwise, you get that girl who was over in France accused of killing her roommate when she
Right.
didn't do it. And this guy, the investigator, he immediately came up with an idea. And when other evidence came in, he said, no, that can't be right because my idea is this. And she spent like 4 or 5 years in jail because this guy's an idiot. You have to
Right.
be willing to change your mind and go with the evidence. And if something
Yeah.
happens that they say, hey, look, we found some other DNA up there. Maybe he wasn't the shooter. We got to look into that. And maybe they are right now. I don't know. I don't know what's
Right.
going on. Right now, they got the guy, and they're saying he's the guy who did it. These are the reasons. You know, we got the DNA on the towel, on the gun, on the screwdriver. So let's just see where it goes. And Kenny says, "Oh, come on, guys! You don't believe in the Kennedy magic bullet theory? No, not at all."
No, not at all. And that's
You ever see that Seinfeld thing where the magic spit?
no.
The guy spit, and it kind of hit Keith Hernandez, or Keith Hernandez spit, and it hit block. I don't remember. They say, "Well, it banked off him and got him." It was funny.
Oh,
It was funny. Yeah.
yeah. That was a critique of the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right, Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But-
Well.
Anywho, the investigation's going to keep going. Hopefully, next time we get on, we can talk about other things too. This will be more settled down. I did see Beth May said she was disappointed that Trump didn't just talk about Charlie Kirk, but that's
I saw
Trump.
that too.
That's Trump. He's a narcissist, and he's
But
always
he
going to
d-
make it about himself. He does. That's what
However,
he does. Even if
he-
it's only a little bit. That's what he does.
However, he did talk a lot about Charlie Kirk.
Okay.
It was all about Charlie Kirk. It wasn't about Donald Trump. So,
Wasn't all about it. There was some about Donald Trump, evidently.
well, he's saying, "Oh, he's a friend of mine. He called me up and said, 'Hey, I'm doing this gig.' You know, it's like I'm the president of the United States. I can't just drop everything, come do." And he's like, "But most of the time, I did." You know, so
Yeah.
so he was telling stories.
Well, like I
about
said, I
his-
didn't hear it, so I can't argue for it against
Right.
it. I'm just.
Well, you seem to be arguing against it. You haven't. Even
Well,
heard
I
it,
just
so
know. I
thank
just
you very
know.
much.
I
So
just know
maybe
when
I'll just
Trump
shut
makes
up
speeches.
about it.
No, maybe I know when Trump makes speeches, he's always patting himself on the back for whatever it has nothing to do with what he's talking about. And, yeah, but and I'm so great and blah blah blah. And I don't know if that's what he did. I don't know. Beth May just said she was sorry that he didn't just keep it about Charlie Kirk, and I jumped into my motion.
Yes, you
Okay.
did.
So
You
there you
didn't give a shit that you didn't see it at all. You just jumped right into your emotion. So
Well,
there
I
you
know.
go.
So there you go.
There
If
you
I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And maybe Beth can clarify for me.
Yeah.
She can tell us exactly what he said that she didn't like.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see here.
And like I said, I didn't see the whole thing. I saw parts of it. I had to leave because my brother miscommunicated our start time for this show. It's all
Yeah.
my brother's fault. So
You
there you
got
go.
that right.
I'm
Not
trying
that
to
we-
get.
Not that was our original plan or anything. Just saying.
I thought that was the original plan, but that's not what you posted. So I'm like, well, then maybe.
No,
the
it's
change-
not.
the
Well,
plan
you know I'm an
changed.
idiot, and I do shit
Well,
like that. So yeah.
I didn't want to assume that. You know, just assuming that you're an idiot is a whole different
Yeah,
thing
well,
than knowing that you're an idiot.
I get it. You know, I live my
All right.
life. I know who I am. What's
So
that?
here's the 30-06 ballistics tables for major ammunition makers, right? So they're going to tell you what the velocity of it, average velocity of a 30-06. Let's see, what does it say? So distance per second. Yeah, I don't know what that says. But yeah, so here we go. Typical grain for 6.5 millimeter. So 143 grains. 264. It's almost like a 226.
You can't read that. What's it? Can I make that bigger? I don't think I can.
Yeah, you can, but it's not gonna be bigger for the audience. So,
No,
but
what they do.
required twist is 1 in 8. So
Oh,
yeah, you just took us off the picture and just added it to the.
How did I do that? I don't even have any idea how I did that, brother.
You clicked on this cinema layout. So this is what the layout was before you started. So
All right.
yeah, so we're just trying to figure out what the velocity was, and I thought this was going to help, but it really doesn't help very much at all. So.
Yeah, I can't read that there. What it
Well, that's
says.
because we're old.
about the drop,
we
the
can't
way it
see
drops
squat.
there.
So it says Ornandy match 300 Winchester 195 grain ELD velocity feet per second. So what is a feet per second? I don't know what the feet per second is. Anyway, so it's a big bullet. So that's a big bullet. That's a pretty big bullet.
Yeah.
Just saying. So
I was going to say, you were talking about the guy going in his shorts and coming back, and then going back with long pants on, and I don't. Those videos are awful grainy.
Right.
They're saying they think it's him, but you can't really tell from those videos. But the guy who is limping does look like he has something stuck down his leg for sure, and his arm is tucked like this, like he's holding something on top too. So he does look something like that for sure.
But he is still bending his knee, and that's the problem. Because if you have
if the gun is down his pant leg and up his shirt, that's the way I look at it.
It would still go past his knee. It's a long gun. It's like 44 or 46 inches. So think about that. So that's going to be from your armpit to about in between your knee and your ankle.
Okay.
So again, I don't know the scenario. I don't know all the information. I'm just seeing a lot of stuff, and it's like it just doesn't. It's not making sense. And the current FBI is not doing themselves any favors by doing the shit they're releasing.
He could bend his knee a little bit, because the part that's going to be down in there is going to be the barrel.
Right.
Okay.
But you
would see the barrel is not going to be like fixed to his leg. It's going to be you can move your leg and the barrel will move. You can still bend your knee a little bit.
Right, but you'd see the barrel sticking out. You'd see the barrel because the guns want to stay straight. Your knee bends, the gun's going to want to stay straight. So you think you'd see a barrel there, right? And you don't, right? So
which video are we talking about now? The one where he's walking up the street?
Yeah, the one where he's walking up
the street. Well, you can't see anything in that video anyway. It's so blurry, and you can't tell.
You can see enough. And oh, by the way, what was he wearing? What was he? Where was the gun when he's walking up the stairs? When they got the picture of him walking up the stairs?
That's the one I wish I got a better view of, because the view that they showed is like, I don't know. You can't. I'd like to.
There's several pictures, and both of his legs are bending walking up the stairs. So if that can't be the same guy that was walking in front of the neighborhood that was limping. That's the problem. So there's too many questions is a problem. I don't know the answers to them. I'm not saying that they're lying to us. I'm just saying there's too many questions, and they should be able to do a better job in giving us a good timeline of what's going on. Unless, this is my other theory, unless they are really investigating something that is going to be really like blow this whole thing wide open and have a lot of people involved in, and they're just trying to put something out there to make people think, oh, well, they got the guy, right? But they don't have the guy, but they know where the guy is and they know how to get the guy. So,
well, that's the other thing too. We haven't heard anything about the assassination on Trump, the attempted assassination on Trump. But what I mean, I don't know if this is true, but I hear this like Joe Rogan always says this, so I'm wondering if it's true. It must be true. I'm saying it must be true because no one's ever questioned him that I heard. Is that the guy's apartment was professionally scrubbed, not a fingerprint, not DNA. There was no silverware in it in the house anywhere, and it's like, and he had no digital footprint anywhere.
Right.
Which that could be, but not used. That's very unlikely. But
right for
the rest of that stuff,
or 20-year-old,
professionally scrubbed, and that's a question. But I haven't heard this from anybody but Joe Rogan. So
right.
I haven't heard the FBI say this.
Right.
So I don't.
Well, they did say it originally when it first was happening, but remember, Biden was the president then.
Right.
So it was Biden's DOJ, Biden's FBI, and there's recent news that Tulsi Gabbard gave what do they call it when they request an investigation? Gave an investigative report to Pam Bondi about President Barack Obama's involvement in the 2016 plan that he had to basically
Russiagate.
a plan that he had to basically assassinate President Trump before he became president in December of 2015.
I'd like to see that because I don't. That's just
again. It's funny to me that no matter what I say, oh, I haven't seen it, I haven't heard that, right? But it's like
I-
if
I-
Tulsi Gabbard gives a recommendation to DOJ to investigate something to Barack Obama involved in assassination attempt of Donald Trump in 2015, December 2015, then and the reason it stopped was because there was a whistleblower that brought forth the hey, something's going on here, and then they stopped the whole plan. But if that's the case, and the DOJ has a request from Tulsi Gabbard to investigate or whatever they call it, then that's a whole problem too, right? And this, this may be what's going on in the background is maybe they're investigating a whole bunch of stuff that's just going to be like, all right, here you go. Now all these people are perp walked. All these people are, we found this government was involved. This guy was a patsy. This is where the shot came. This is the gun that was shot. So we don't know. They could be doing something like that. But currently, what we have is not very clear.
I will only
would you
believe
agree to that
when I see it.
But would you agree that currently what we have is not very clear?
It could, if there's a possibility it's not clear. I'm looking at it like it's pretty clear, but it's a possibility. I mean, there are some stuff needs to be answered, and I don't think that the FBI is going to answer Joe Rogan or you or me and asking the question. It's going to have to be them doing the investigation. If those facts are true, and are they looking at it? I don't know.
Well,
but it seems pretty clear to me. This guy shot the guy. Who's telling?
The FBI and the governor of Utah.
What they tell us?
The screwdriver was left on the roof.
Yeah.
The gun was found in the woods, fully assembled. Right. And
I have not heard the fully assembled part. I have not. I've heard the gun was found on the roof. I have not heard the fully assembled part.
All right. I don't even know what whatever. So,
well, I don't know. I haven't heard it. I watched. Yeah. I watched the thing, and maybe they said it, and I didn't. I just assumed. I just didn't think about it. Which could be too.
I find it funny that because I said it, well, I haven't heard that, so I'm not gonna believe it. So it's like, okay, so I must have been hearing a lie, or must be believing a lie, or something.
Didn't say I didn't believe. Said I haven't heard it.
Right. So therefore, it couldn't be true. Then,
well,
right?
Jeff, did you see the list of stuff you sent me the other day of all these people speculating?
I showed the list of the people.
These are all people speculating their ideas because they want to get clickbait. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that some of these people are not.
So that's my point. If you're getting your information from these people, how much of it can be trusted? They're looking for clickbait.
Have you ever heard of Michael Savage? Have you ever heard of Candace Owen? Have you ever heard of
yes,
a couple other people?
And Candace Owen does the same thing. Okay, I like Candace Owen, but she does the same thing. She says this is what this means. When I look at it like, yeah, I don't think that's what that means. So she's looking for clickbait. She's making a living doing it.
No, she's looking for the truth. She's trying to figure out the timeline that they're telling us and trying to figure out, like, oh, this guy went here and went there. Well, why is there a video suddenly showing up of him at a Dairy Queen when they said he was on the run? He's at a Dairy Queen. The timestamp video of this shooter in a Dairy Queen wearing a different set of clothes than what he was arrested in and what he wore on the roof. The same
There could be a lot of explanation for that.
Oh, of course there could be, but I mean that seems.
But she puts it off as, oh, he's not the guy. He can't be. He was in a Dairy Queen. Why would he be there? Well, you know what?
That's not. That's not what she said, Rick. That's not
what you sounded like. She said.
No, she said, look, the FBI is telling us that he was here, but yet there's a timestamp video of him here. How can he be here and here at the same time? What's going on? There's something wrong with their timeline. That's what she's saying. There's something wrong with the timeline, right? So Travis said some other stuff 2 years. You might have already shown this.
Charlie White said it best. Charlie tried to save young men's lives, especially the young man who shot him. I don't know.
I don't know where you went with that.
Charlie's wife said it best. Charlie tried to save young men's life, especially the young man who shot him. Especially people like the young man who shot him.
Because he was in there challenging them on their thinking, and he was bringing the gospel of Jesus Christ, saying, because there's a video out there that I've never seen until recently of Charlie Kirk is on this show, and he's basically got about 8 or 10 women who do the the only stuff in porn, right? You know, the what do they call it? Only or whatever, me only.
Only
whatever.
fans or something like that.
Only
Yeah.
fans, yeah. So, and he did a podcast with these women, right? Him and
Yeah.
all of these women, right? And they were like, "Wow, we've thank you for coming. We've never had somebody act so nice and gracious to us." He's like, "Look,
Oh no,
I believe
I
that
agree with
Jesus
you.
Christ can save you. You
I-
need Jesus, right?"
I've watched many
So-
Charlie Kirk videos, and I've never seen him say a nasty word to people. He disagrees with them vehemently, but he
Right.
doesn't. He doesn't call them names. He just says, "I don't agree with you, and this is the way it is." And and I tell people this. I've told people this before. Especially the transgender crap that's going on. I could care less. You want to think you're something else, think you're something else, but don't ask me to do it. And that's what Charlie Kirk's basically saying. Don't ask me to go down your rabbit hole with you and say that yeah, you're a woman when you're a man. And I told my kids this. I said, look, these people have mental illness. Okay. If you look down and see a penis and you say you're a woman, you've got something wrong in your brain. Okay. There's and they throw out the statistics about transgender people who can't change committing suicide. It's the same rate once they transgender. It's the same rate. They have a mental problem. It's not a transgender problem. Anyway,
Right. The
we should
point I
probably
was
wrap
trying to
this up.
make,
Go
the
ahead,
point I
brother,
was
then we'll
trying to
wrap it
make was Charlie Kirk brought the message of Jesus Christ to these young people who needed it, right?
Yes.
You know, he talked to them about prove me wrong, about big government sucks and all the stuff that he did when he started his Turning Point Turning Point USA. When he started that process and that program, it was all to influence the people that are going to be future leaders of our country, right? Because when he started it, he said that Don Jr. was actually, when he's talking today at the Kirk Memorial, Don Jr. He said, Charlie Kirk came to me and said, look, come with me to the campuses. We need to get these kids. He's like, no, we're going to wait for the kids to become taxpayers. Then we're going to start trying to get them. He's like, no, we need to get them now.
Right.
Like, we need to get them when they're young. We need to start talking to them, challenging them. Because the reality is, if we don't challenge these kids with an alternative perspective, then the indoctrination that they're getting in these schools is terrible for the United States of
And
America.
anybody who doesn't think they're not or thinks they're not being indoctrinated to go lefty, they're not paying attention. Okay,
Right.
because it is happening. Okay, I wanted to say something about, you said Charlie Kirk was preaching the gospel. Is that what you said? I can't remember
Preaching the
exactly.
gospel of Jesus Christ.
Preaching the
message
gospel of Jesus Christ. There are some people who will call that hate speech.
Yep.
And I know a couple of them, but it's not. It's just a view, a different view that somebody has. And that's it. But
Well,
anyway,
Scripture says that the message of the cross is foolishness to those that are perishing, and life
Right.
to those that need it. Right.
Yeah.
But it's still incumbent upon us to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. The Bible is very clear. It says, if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and you believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, then you will be saved. That's the gospel and the simplicity and the message of Jesus Christ.
Right.
God in heaven came down to earth and died on the cross, was raised from the dead on the third day, so that we would have life and fellowship with him for eternity. And Charlie Kirk is with God in eternity right now.
absolutely.
So anyway, there we go.
Amen,
So,
brother.
we've gone a little bit long. It was 5:20. We got a little heated. Hopefully it's
But we still love each other, and that's
we
what this is
absolutely
all
love
about. You know, we argue and we discuss, and then we tell each other we love each other. We move on. You know,
Yeah.
and that's the way our country should be, but it's not.
And that's one of the things that Charlie Kirk was doing. He's trying to get the conversation going and get people talking.
Yeah.
Because if you don't talk, what's going to happen?
Yeah, you fight.
People are going to start killing each other.
Yep.
And that's not the solution that we need.
Right.
So I want to say, God bless America. God bless our troops. God bless our first responders, our firefighters, our police officers, because we are not in a plan or agenda to defund police. We
Tim
love our
Smith
police
got
officers.
on recently
Hey,
too. So hey,
Tim, how's it going?
ahead,
So God bless you you guys for coming and listening, and thank you for interacting with us. We greatly appreciate it. If we didn't get your comments, we apologize. We'll get to them as often as we can, and hopefully it'll be beneficial for the conversation.
Yes, we love conversation. We love people talking to us, and God bless you all, and thank you for showing up. And
Yes.
may you all have a blessed day.
Yes, indeed.